So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Women Who Lead. Before I get started, I have to give a shout out to my son, Jeffrey. Today is his 30th birthday. So happy birthday, my sweet Jeffrey. He's awesome, and I'm so proud to be your mother. So I just had to make sure to say that today. And we have an exciting show today that celebrates our military community leaders. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, which is very significant for so many of us in this country as we honor all those who have served, right? And it is a special day for my family as my father-in-law served 2 tours of duty as a Navy medical doctor. I have 2 uncles who served in the U.S. Air Force, and my father was actually a merchant marine in La Flauta Colombiana, which I always celebrate, even though it's a U.S. holiday, right? We always celebrated his service as a merchant marine. And today I am honored to be featuring women who have served in different capacities within the branches of military life. So good morning, good afternoon. My name is Theresa Palacio-Smith, and I'm Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Home Services of America and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, as well as Real Living Real Estate. My family is originally from Colombia, South America, and when we get together with friends and family, we always ask, ¿Quieres un cafecito? Which is the premise of this show. It's a cup of coffee with some friends, because that's the way we break bread and we get to know each other better. And today I'm among friends. I have from the daughter of a Vietnam vet who has found passion in educating others, to the active military spouse who serves on our Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Military and Veterans Task Force, to the U.S. Marine Corps vet who now devotes her time in helping military families find their homes. This show will bring to light the great work that is done on the battlefield of life and in the pursuit of homeownership for all. And I found this quote and I thought, what a perfect quote for these women today. And it is by the late Colin Powell. There are no secrets to success. It is a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. And this is so true. And I just listened to RIS Media's podcast with our very own Christy Budnick, where she talks about there are no shortcuts in life. And I think this is really true. Our special guests today are our community military leaders. So let me introduce them and let me get started. So first I want to introduce Roshita Mclean, and she goes by Ro, and she's a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Georgia Properties, which she joined right in 2019. And prior to this, Rose served 15 years in the corporate world, handling commercial accounts for Georgia Power, which is a huge company and employer in the Georgia market. As the daughter of a Vietnam War veteran, she gained her passion for serving from her father. And today she leads Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Georgia Properties Diversity Council, which I'm a member of. And she's also involved with the Atlanta chapter of the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, where she serves as their education director. That organization, known as VA Rep, is a national organization dedicated to increasing sustainable homeownership, financial literacy education, VA loan awareness, and economic opportunity for the active military and veteran communities. And we are proud sponsors of this group. So Ro, I honor you for that work that you're doing with them. And I really thank you for that. And Ro is also, I have to tell you, she is also an avid sports enthusiast. And I know she has to be celebrating big as Atlanta Braves. Our Atlanta Braves this past week as the World Series champions. Yes. So again, it's a good time to be in Atlanta. Now, I've got Renee Shepard. Renee is the manager of Global Transition Services for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Real Living Real Estate. And Renee has over 37 years of experience in the real estate industry, serving in numerous capacities, ranging from sales to training, right? She's also the spouse of Army Major, who has served as chaplain in numerous posts, both domestically and globally. Her training background is impressive, with certifications with Franklin Covey, Hathaway, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Franklin Leadership, Situational Leadership, and others. She was also selected, I'm so impressed with this, as one of 50 candidates from over 200 applications to participate in the inaugural Military Spouse Leadership Development Program cohort. That is a mouthful. To provide the opportunity to learn the fundamentals. And I love the whole premise: service, leadership, mentorship, and advocacy. Awesome, Renee. And she also serves on our Military Veteran Task Force, which we're going to talk a little bit about in a few minutes. And I met Renee during the transition of one of the many companies we work with, and her finesse and expertise has proven to be a huge asset for our organization. She does an incredible job. And I also want to make sure, so Renee, welcome, that I tell you too, I met Ro when she was a part of our diversity council before she was chosen as a leader of that group. So again, from that moment on, we became good friends. And then I have Catherine Warner. Catherine Warner, we all know as Kat. She is a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Chicago. She started her career in real estate with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Northwest Properties. And she is a second-generation realtor and is the daughter of our very own Senior Vice President of Network Services, Rosalie Warner. So Rosalie, if you're watching, shout outs to you. Catherine, right, she grew up in Beaverton, Oregon. And during her first year in college, she found her calling to be military. She wanted to go into the military and served for 8 years as a member of the United States Marine Corps. That is really cool. As a mother, Catherine learned the importance of work-life balance and found the focus on housing for veterans, and she felt that brought a passion to her. She recently moved to Chicago, joining our wonderful Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Chicago brokerage that's run by Diane Glass, and is fully focused on the VA market, working every day under the tagline, and I love this tagline, continuing to serve. And I met Catherine when she attended our Berkshire Hathaway Home Services annual conference a couple of years ago, where we debuted our military task force. So again, welcome all of you. I'm excited to have you on the show. It's an honor to have you, and with all the work that you do, I can't wait to hear from you. So let's get started. And I always ask the question because people want to know, was it by chance or by choice? How did you get into real estate? So I'm going to start with you, Ro, and then Renee, and then with Kat.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Theresa, for your leadership and support and inviting me here today. It is awesome. I can't thank you enough for my Women Who Lead Cup. Has been awesome. Like I've just mentioned to you before, I've traveled over the last couple of weeks and I have not put my cup down. So thank you. Thank you to our military, our veterans who have served, and really appreciate you guys. And the way that I got started, we were just talking about Georgia Power Southern Company. I'm still a stockholder. That's still, my passion for where I grew. Over 15 years of real estate, working with property management companies and so forth. I feel like real estate was calling my name. I feel like I was always, either working in our land department or working with property management companies like Jones Lang LaSalle. I sold emergency generators. So I've always been in houses, but I always knew I wanted to work for the Cabernet Berkshire Hathaway color brand in real estate. So I just feel like it was calling my name, and I decided to pursue my real estate career in Nevada, the awesome state of Nevada. Moved to Las Vegas, stayed there for 2 years, worked for Berkshire Hathaway Nevada properties there. And then I moved back home to Atlanta in 2019, and I'm still with the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Georgia properties brand. So I love it, and I just feel like real estate was just calling my name.
Oh, I love that. And for a lot of people don't realize that Georgia Power, where you were in the corporate world, we did so much work. I mean, they do so much work in land and commercial, the residential, huge in economic development. So it's great to have you and among us. And so Renee, tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate.
Well, I got into real estate before any of you on the call were born. And I was young when I got into the business, but I had moved with my parents from Ohio, where I was born, to Alabama. I was out of school. My dad had taken a transfer, and I was like, please take me with you, because the world was my oyster, and I was working in sales. I've had a love and passion for training since I was like 11 years old, and always in teaching adults. That was really my passion, even as a kid, more than teaching children. And so I was working for companies, I was selling, I was training. And my dad actually is the person who said that he thought I had the right attitude and the right attributes to be a success in real estate. And I have to say, my mom is from Switzerland, my dad is from Austria. So my sister and I are first generation Americans, and they so much believed in the American dream. And my dad, that entrepreneurial spirit was so much a part of him when he came to this country. And so he was like, you can name your schedule, you can name your hours, and you can name your income, and so I'm like, well, I'll try. So I just loved the business, but in my passion for teaching, I looked at real estate as teaching a seller how to make a good decision on pricing or staging, and with a buyer on how to make a good decision on a purchase or a mortgage option. And so I took that with me, even as I started in the business, and I started training for our company, started training for the board locally. And again, I don't know who all is out there that even remembers there was such a thing as an MLS book where you used to get newsprint color on your hands. And so there were a lot of agents who were struggling with bringing technology into the real estate business. And so I was able to say, I would do almost like a lunch and learn. They would help me learn the business, and I would help them pull up an MLS search, and we would teach each other. And so I was given the opportunity then to sign on with Prudential Real Estate back in the day, was with them for, 12 or 13 years. And my life took a detour for the military. We may talk about that a little bit later. And I had the joy of coming back to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. So thrilled to be here. Y'all think of that this week, this weekend. It's an important day. And thanks to all of you for being here.
Oh, Renee, and you do such a great job, such a great trainer. So thank you again. We are really lucky to have you. And then Catherine, Kat, as your mother dearly calls you. So we all adopted your name because you're like our daughter. My daughter is your age. So tell me a little bit about how you got, and you're second generation. You probably thought the entire time, the last thing I want to do is to go into real estate, because that's what most people that are children of realtors say. Is that what you thought too?
Something similar. So I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. And to me, what drove me to do that was helping my community. And also I'd like to say happy birthday. Today is the 246th Marine Corps birthday. Yeah. So yes, we're celebrating today. And so when I got out, what I thought was you had to wear a uniform to help your community. That's how I felt that I could help my community. And so I went to do, police route, fire, paramedic, and none of that fit my schedule or my family's needs, as I was a single mom of 2. And so as growing up with a mother in the real estate business, I realized that this career change could really benefit my family, and it would give me that work-life balance that you were talking about, where I could still be there to tuck my kids in at night, be at all the soccer games, pick them up from school, but also make it to a house to show a client, that work-life balance, and still help my community. So I am so excited about the change that I made, and I don't regret anything that I've done since I've been out.
Well, first of all, single mom, and a lot of, we've seen a repetitive of that, of a lot of single mothers, divorced mothers that come into this business because of the opportunities that it does offer and the choices. And then most importantly, Catherine, and I'm sure you found this too, is that you actually can make a living, and some things part-time, you can't always do that. So it's incredible, especially if you're hard worker, because it doesn't come easy. It's a tough role. You do have to realize and educate your own self on all the different programs that are available. And you've done a great job to help those communities and understand the veteran programs that are available for our military personnel. So let's talk about, each of you have a very unique role in different aspects of community leadership. So I want to hear about why this is important to you, what the significance of this is, and what about a little bit about the roles that you serve. So I'm going to start with you, Renee, because I know that you are a spouse of a chaplain in military. Huge. Kat was telling us how important that was, and also are involved with our military task force, which is also important for a lot of people to be aware of. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as I mentioned, my parents' history, I didn't have really a military background in my generation. I did have a couple of uncles that served, and the U.S. military is also a pathway to citizenship. So I think that was important to some members of our family, but not my line, right? So when I met my husband, we were both in the corporate setting. And when 9/11 happened, he really felt that very, very internally. And he was at a crossroads. And he said, I love God and I love soldiers. I just feel called to go back into the service. He was prior service. I didn't know him then. And so he went that route. I was with him. We were together then when he went through seminary with the reserves, and then he got picked up for active duty. So I have young children. I don't have any experience in the military. We're about to pick up and move from Alabama to Kansas, to the home of the Big Red One. And I thought, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. So again, as that trainer mindset, I thought I've got to find some training to teach me how to be resourceful. What is available to me? How can I be the best spouse that I can be? And Fort Riley offered some incredible training opportunities for spouses, incredible volunteer opportunities. And so that just fit me, to a T. So I started then sitting to become certified in those courses, which then I could be using to teach the other military spouses, other units, my husband's unit. And that has taken me all over the world where I could be of service to those spouses. So it's as complex as something like Army Family Team Building or Master Resiliency, to something seemingly simple but so important like customs and courtesies, that I think is so important for the younger generation who perhaps is joining the military because they're thinking this is going to pay for my education. I've got two kids, a senior in college and a senior in high school. Our daughter, who is online today, she is in ROTC, and we didn't pick that for her. She's like, I saw things and experienced things, and this is a path for us. Our son is like, no way, not something I'm interested in following along. So it's okay, but we had to learn as a family. They went through a lot with me while I was volunteering, doing some really important things when my husband was in Afghanistan. And they lived through that. And, we spend a lot of time without dad, especially in those formative years. So I wanted to be there for my family, but I wanted to be there for other new spouses or younger spouses that maybe didn't have as much life experience, and this was all kind of thrown into them. And when you talk about the Military and Veteran Task Force, I love, of course, meeting all the people in our network who are involved with the military. And I can't wait to see you all at our reception at convention. But it's also things like the assets that we want to provide in marketing resource, or the courses that we want to offer, like the Mutual of Omaha Mortgage CE credit that's actually going to be going on later today. There are things that this network is trying to bring to those who are franchisees, to allow those agents to better serve the military community in their area. So I just love every aspect of the military life, and I feel blessed to be a part of it.
Oh my goodness. And again, we are blessed to have this program that really does focus on every aspect, increasing our awareness of the issues that military life is about, and then afterwards. And, I can certainly relate as far as, my husband traveled in business for a certain length of time. And I can imagine when, people don't realize you have to do everything. With Kat, I don't know how you did it with being a single mom and your kids and the thought of, being away from them. So it really is a lot to take in, and there's a lot of strength and a requirement of faith. And I know that you've done that for so many families. Bro, how about you? Tell me a little bit about how, you serve and the work you're doing now with the Educational Committee, which is pretty new task for you.
Yes, it is. And, Renee, that was awesome. I, don't know where else to go with that. But thank you again. So one of the things with Georgia Power Southern Company, they always said, one of their mantras is being a citizen wherever you serve. And with Catherine, continue to serve. I may try to go steal that some kind of way. I don't know, but
Go ahead.
So I've always had that mentality, whether it was serving veterans or serving in the community for homeless or, so anything that I can do to help, I have that servant mentality already. But one of the things that was very passionate about me here in Atlanta, Midtown, our office, there's a huge homeless opportunity, should I say. And last couple of holidays or Christmas, one of the coldest days, last Christmas, we had a homeless veteran. And, he didn't really have anywhere to go. And it was very dear to myself and our staff, awesome staff here in the Midtown office and our broker. We went and got, this veteran some coffee, coats, gloves, etc. It was like, what else can we do? Not just for, our homeless veterans, but, for people who are looking for veterans who are looking for homes, etc. And so it dawned on me, that was in December of 2020, that I want to be more a part of this military community. And Theresa has always told us from the beginning on our diversity, equity, inclusion task force that, join an organization, get passionate about something, even if it's, one organization. And so this is one organization that I have taken under my belt because I am a daughter of a veteran. My dad served in the Vietnam War, and I am a niece of veterans who have served several times. So I'm really just, it's really interesting in regards to the whole veteran side. And so earlier this year, they were looking for a educational director, and I was interviewed, and I was chosen as the educational director. And really, just like you said, is very brand new, which is why I had an opportunity to go to the national BAYRAP just to kind of get a little bit more understanding how we can better serve. I was able to achieve my military and veteran housing certification. And when I went through that course, at first I was like, wow, 6 hours, oh my God. But at the same time, I was like, wow, this is something that every agent needs to know and be a part of, because in this crazy world of real estate, with everybody like, oh, there's a seller's market, oh, there's not an opportunity for veterans. There is an opportunity for veterans. As a matter of fact, my last 6 transactions were veterans, or either a child or a veteran. And so it didn't dawn on me until I start looking at this, and I'm like, oh my God. So I feel that we have a unique opportunity as agents, as purveyors in real estate, as citizens, to help every veteran that we can to achieve the American dream. And because I feel like it's their right. And I feel that for me, I want to be that person to help drive that and to help educate our agents. And one of the things that we're doing, Renee, and I probably want to get with you and talk a little bit more off camera, is that charging our Prosperity Home Mortgage, which is our sponsor and huge mortgage company with Berkshire Hathaway, to have more conversation around VA loans, to have more education. And so we're working on one of our senior mortgage originators with Prosperity Home Mortgages, putting together a CE class, a free CE class for our agents, and just trying to figure out a better way of how we could be a voice here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, and of course for the home services family. So I would love to see what other people are doing and be a part of that to be able to bring awareness. And also, last but certainly not least, one of the other things that's really important is you never know from an agent standpoint when you pick up the phone and you call in the other agent, they could be a veteran. Their seller could be a veteran. You just never know. So I always want to say, don't be afraid to call, and because you have a VA loan, make sure you do everything that you can to get that veteran into their home and so forth. So that's why this is important to me.
And that's great advice, Ro. I certainly applaud you for the work you're doing. And Prosperity Home Mortgage, I know their team, they do such an incredible job. And they were at VA Wrap, which, by the way, if you've never attended, for those of you who have not, it is probably one of the most patriotic times in my life. That's when I feel the most patriotic, is attending their events, because it is truly an honor. And all the work you see the real results of what our veterans do to defend us, right? Because you see all of the scars and wounds, inner and outside. You get to see that visually, but it is also a proud moment for us as being part of this country. So, and Kat, thank you again, Ro. Kat, how about you? Because I know that is special, and you do a lot of work in the community and have a passion for homeownership as well.
Yeah, so my business is diverse, but I truly focus, like my slogan is continue to serve. I really focus on the veteran community, and I can bounce off of everything you guys just said. I just became a part of the VA Rep chapter in Chicago. I am so excited. So Ro, me and you're going to be talking a little bit, and Prosperity is fantastic. Mutual of Omaha, I just took a course with them. And so something I really want to talk about, and it just got brought up with one of my new VA buyers, is a myth out there that their offers won't be taken seriously. People might not look at their offers because they're VA, and it's really big fears. And some agents have the same fear. And I would say to take those classes, because it's constantly changing. The VA loan program is changing so much. And just in 2020, we had the most VA loan closed since in like the last 2 years prior to that. And so more service members and veterans are becoming homeowners. And I am so happy about that. And I'm so happy to help. And so that's really my role, is to just make sure that they feel like they're taken seriously, and that their fears are taken very seriously with me, because I had those fears too. So that's my passion, and I'm so happy that there's more agents like that. I'm a part of the chatter group, and we'll be meeting more agents at convention. And I just met one in Georgia, and he is helping a dear friend of mine that I served with. And he is so passionate, it brought tears to my eyes. So, so I'm so happy that there are more agents out there like that with my passion.
Oh, I think that's great. And also, you having that personal experience and understanding. And by the way, and you brought up a great point, Kat, that people need to know, and that is that there are more military people that are retiring from the military, that are exiting out. So the opportunities are huge to assist veterans, because they are, coming out and looking to purchase homes, which brings me to another point, because a lot of times people don't realize, some of the, challenges or what military life is about, and what families, what do you deal with? So you shared a quick story, Kat, about when you moved from one post to another, and since it was a short-term project, you had to deal with living in an apartment or a temporary housing when you were there for 5 months with 2 kids. So talk about that real quick. Or a hotel, was it that you were saying?
It was a hotel.
Goodness.
So to speak on that, in the military life, when you go to a new base, there is housing there. When you are single, you live in the barracks. When you have a family, you have a house on base. In Okinawa, Japan, we had like an apartment on base. But when I was stationed on stateside with my children, we moved here and we didn't rate on-base housing, and we only had a few months left. And so I really didn't know my benefits getting out either. And so my kids and I lived in a hotel for probably over a month. Our stuff was still on the boat coming over. And so we didn't really have anything but the clothes on our back. So that also makes me really, really want to help veterans so that they do not have to deal with that and that they know their benefits. And something I really want to bring up, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, Renee might have a little idea. When somebody first checks into a unit, they give us a check-in sheet. And they go, okay, so we're going to take you from A to B, and we're going to find you your doctor, your dentist, a vehicle, your home. Like, we are going to get you all set up, and you're really taken care of. And then when you come into the civilian life, you don't get a check-in sheet, and you're like, where's my doctor? Who do I go see? You know, we don't have to pay bills. Now we have to pay bills. How do I pay this bill? When does the bill come? And there's so many things, if you've lived on base, that when you get out, it's really scary and you're not surrounded by a fence anymore. And I feel like a lot of people need to understand that, because we might seem tough on the outside, but on the inside, we're really scared. And there's a lot of unknowns, and the unknown is so scary for so many people. And so what seems easier to some people is so scary to veterans. And so I treat it as a check-in sheet. I literally hand them a check-in sheet and I say, what can I help you with outside of home buying? Because I can help you find a home, but they might need help further than that. So that's something I really want to bring to light.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's so true, right? That there are no checklists, and nobody's telling you what to do it, when to do it, all of that. You've got to do that on your own. And it could be so intimidating. And to have you know that, Kat, and be able to serve those that are coming out, I think that what an advocate you are. So thank you again. And Renee, I know that you, as the spouse of an army chaplain, have also seen other sides as well. So tell me a little bit about what is it that somebody might not know about military life that you might want to tell people.
Kat, what a great story, and
Right.
Good for you, because we have been places like in Korea where there wasn't housing available for us. And we found ourselves living in Korea, and we don't speak Korean, and we bought a car for $1 from another soldier who was leaving. So it's such a unique and awesome, amazing life, but it can be very scary, even for grown people with spouses and older kids, let alone being young and single with small children. But I did just want to bring up what people may not realize from a school situation, because a lot of times, you know, Ro and Kat, you're showing houses, and, you know, people are looking into a certain school system, and there are schools that say that they are super military friendly. Like, we are now stationed 2.8 miles from the gate at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And so Enterprise High School, you know, says that they are very military friendly, and they are, and they mean to be. But my daughter went to 3 high schools. My son is going to graduate from his 2nd high school. And every school they went to, the school path is that you take those courses to graduate from that school. Even if I sit there and go, we're only going to be here 2 years, and then they'll be in 9th grade. So by the time they get to be 10th, 11th, 12th grade, they're behind. They're usually missing that state's history class, or they're missing a credit because the way that one school names it doesn't match the way another school names it. So especially in this cohort that I'm involved in, there are amazing men and women in there. And some of them are taking these things to Congress and to create laws, some sort of consistency, because I think people don't realize, you know, why is this senior in 9th grade history? Why is this person still having to take a PE as a junior? You know, it's things like that I think people just don't think about when you're moving around a lot, that even if you say you're very military friendly, the system of getting them through their class credits to graduate is just a very unique experience.
Gosh, wow. That's something I did not know. And it is already difficult to be a student in a new school. I can't even begin to think about all the things that they have to challenge with learning
Right.
and meeting new friends. And now I got to work with, figuring out the curriculum matches what, the curriculum of the school that I attended, 6 months ago at no fault of my own. I'm now, my parents have been relocated. I think that's great, Renee. And I know that that was a situation that was very true for the global corporations in this country. As you know, Ro, with Southern Company, they would, a lot of these companies would relocate people to different countries. And so they created the IB program. And the IB program is very similar to what I think the military needs to create, is a program that is central and universal. Schools are offering the same exact curriculum, no matter where you go in the world. If you have an IB school, that curriculum follows you, and it's equal to the same in Korea as it is in the United States, as it is in Atlanta, Georgia, wherever you are. So it's really saved those children from having to do or to have to refit the program or the curriculum that's offered. So I think that that's something I did not know and was not aware of. So thank you for letting us know. And I know, Ro, for you, let's talk about diversity, because what does that mean to you? I know that's something that's very important for you as well.
Yes. One of the things that, when we were in San Diego, Renee, I don't know if you heard one of the guys speaking, and I can't remember his name, but he was one of the speakers, and he talked about what is your passion and what is your purpose. And he said, your purpose is waking up every day, to go out and do whatever that is that you need to do for that day. But your passion is something that nobody can teach you. Nobody can, it just has to be something in you. And so when I left there, San Diego, I thought about, wow, what is my passion? What is my purpose? And what was my lesson learned from attending, this event? And so when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, I'm very passionate about that, just because it really just falls back to, growing up, elementary school. I went to a majority school, which was, you were pulled from the south side of Atlanta to the north side. And I feel like my mom, she's like, yeah, you're diverse. And so when I went to high school, I was back into a all African-American school. And so I've always had, a different aspect. And like Theresa said, I played sports, and my teammates were my teammates. We didn't just look at each other as, this color, that. We were just different backgrounds, just making sure that everybody felt valued and appreciated. And we were working together for a common goal, which was our purpose to go out and play basketball, have a scholarship, and then go out and find your passion, right? And so I think that for me, diversity, equity, inclusion is just basically, making everyone feel valued and appreciated, and understanding that there are different backgrounds and it's okay. And sometimes you can laugh at those different backgrounds because everybody has a story, right? And so when you look at that, you can also have an inspiration and feel inspired by other people's background or whatever that is from a diversity, equity, inclusion standpoint. And so I don't look at it just as people. I also look at it as a, multicultural. Theresa has taught us, to have a multicultural plan, because as agents and purveyors of real estate, you're going to work with all types of people, and you're going to have all different backgrounds. So why not learn some of the different things that, people like, even from, closing gifts, all the way down to understanding what type of food they like when you get ready to take them out to eat or what have you. And so I really dug a little bit deeper into my client base, into my clients, understanding what they like, what they don't like, and, reading different books, and just really having a better understanding and having some educational awareness of what is actually taking place in diversity, equity, inclusion. I commend Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, for having our first diversity, equity, inclusion task force. And I feel like it's going to continue to grow and continue to be a lot better, because these opportunities, like being part of, VAREP and being a part of different organizations that are out there, it's going to allow you to be more diverse, have more understanding, and being able to be a better citizen wherever we serve. So that's what diversity, equity, inclusion means to me.
I love it. And you certainly are definitely, what we consider a forever agent, because you're looking at clients for life and looking at what they're passionate about, what's important to them, and then diving yourself into it, right? Because it's really what makes a difference. That's how you learn, like
Right.
Indian food or, all these different things is
Exactly.
by like trying them and realizing, wow, I really like this. This is really cool. Or dancing.
Right.
And what cool is, I think it's the one thing that I love about our military is the fact that diversity is that they don't even worry. That's a work. We are diverse. We're all brothers and sisters. We're there to defend each other.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your color, what your political affiliation, it doesn't matter. It's about staying alive and taking care of our brothers and sisters and defending the United States of America. And I think that is what makes our community so beautiful and so special. So you can tell I am truly passionate about that. So let's talk about leadership, because I know that each of you have a superpower and I want to know what it is. So Kat, let me start with you. What do you think your superpower is?
I would say my superpower is my energy. My energy and my ability to multitask. My husband's always said, I don't know how you can multitask. He gets really, really stressed out when he cooks dinner and there's too many sides. So yes.
Men are not good at that at all, but that fact that you have even that extra, that's fantastic. How about you, Renee?
So I was talking with my husband about this last night, because I may think it is something about the power of communication, because that's important to me, is conveying a message. But he said, I think it is your unbridled optimism that attracts people. I forget what he said, but it was a word like it's contagious. And I said, oh, now's a bad time to use that word.
Oh, God.
I will go with his unbridled enthusiasm or unbridled.
You know what? And I love that. And you know what? Always, it's our husbands that really tell you, like they'll tell you, you are so good at this. And that's what you are, what I think is your superpower. And I have to agree with him. You are definitely, I don't care. Every time I've been on a transition call with you, you're so optimistic and this is going to happen and Gino's coming, he's just running up, it's always fantastic. So I have to agree. How about you, Ro?
Say I'm a problem solver. I like to say I possess Mamba mentality, where there's a determination, there's a, for every problem, there's a solution. And so I like to figure out what the solution is, because you can talk about the problem all day. And a lot of my clients, they will say one thing about Rose, she's going to share with us to trust the process. And they're like, trust the process. That's what I always share with them. And I think that when I was looking, you kind of stole my thunder earlier about Colin Powell's quote, but I found this little paper and it talks about him and how he had a excellence. It's called excellence personified. But one of the things, I know you probably talked about this, we've talked about this in one of our meetings when we were honoring veterans at the beginning of this month, was his 13 rules of leadership. And the one thing that I'm not going to read all of them, but if you guys get a chance to YouTube to locate that, he talks about it. But one of the things he says that and this is his words, it ain't as bad as you think. It will look better in the morning. And so when you think about our problems and different things that we all have going on, really, when you think about it, the next day, it kind of seems like it's a little bit better the next day or what have you. And so I try to take that same mentality with my clients and say, hey, let's just trust the process. Everything is going to be fine. Worst case scenario, this house didn't work out. Well, we'll find you another house, but we are going to do whatever we need to do. And so you have to have that when that empathy and that compassion and that determination with what Catherine was saying, that a lot of times veterans especially, feel like their loan is not going to the offer is not going to be accepted, or, it's going to be a little bit tougher, get into this market. And so if I can share that one thing with my clients is trust the process and trust me to help you through that process to be able to resolve that, that would be my superpower for leadership.
Oh, and I think that's great. And what a great quote, because it is so true. You always sit there and worry. And the next day it's like, what was I worried about?
Right.
This, we can solve it, So I've got the solutionist, the optimist, and the taskmaster. I love that. That's my name for y'all. So
the solutionist.
Right? The solutionist. So
I love
tell
it.
me about 2021, because this year is almost, this year, right? This year's almost over, and the year before. What in your professional, personal life did you feel the proudest moment about, a biggest accomplishment? And I'm going to start with you, Renee, then with Kat, and then with Ro.
Well, thanks for already mentioning, Theresa, about the leadership program that the Military Spouse Advocacy Network put together. It was such an honor to be selected. These people that I am a part of, these 50, they're amazing. Like, I'm just so happy to be there and to learn from them. But each week, and our homework for the sessions is based on either a particular leadership skill or a particular situation. And so I just love learning. And, we had the opportunity to take one of the courses was from Harvard University's National Preparedness Leadership Initiative. Another one was from the McChrystal Group, and another one from Psych Hub. So we're having a chance to get certifications, take classes, brainstorm together. Just like Kat and Ro said, oh, now we're both on VA rep, we need to get together and talk, or Ro, saying we can pick each other's brain. Now I have 49 other people from around the world.
Wow.
That if we have an issue or something that affects us personally, or military spouses, or the military in general, or our children, that we have a place to go. And I love leadership. I love being a part of that. But it's so interesting to me to see those people who think, oh, I'm just a military spouse, or I'm just a mom. And I was taught that leaders are people who influence. And so we can influence our neighbors, we can influence our children. It doesn't mean we change them. It doesn't mean we get them to do everything our way. But if we have the opportunity to influence, then we have the opportunity to lead, no matter how great or small. And so I just have loved seeing these people blossom to say, I do have a voice or a cause. And Ro saying, I needed to look at, what did I walk away from that VA rep conference? What am I going to do about that? And so that has just been a wonderful, just a professional growth opportunity that's not real estate specific. So I think it's just been a great experience for 2021. I'm on my final homework assignment, and we have graduation on Saturday. So I'm super excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is
congratulations.
So amazing. And again, I do think it's real estate related, because you're going to be able to bring all that you learn to us. So I can't wait. And I already see it. How about you, Kat?
I would say it was me starting over. I started my business all the way over from Oregon to Illinois. And I fell in love with another veteran. And so I have a combined family of 4 kids, and I started my business over, but I wouldn't have really been able to do that without the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Chicago Veterans Program that Diane Glass and my principal broker, Joe Stacy, offer. And so without that, it's an amazing program. And I have told so many veterans they need to ask about it. And so without that, I would have been really stuck, especially with this big move and this big change. And so I feel really accomplished that I did that. And I've met so many amazing men and women out here, veterans, and I'm so excited. I love the change. And so I would say that's a big accomplishment for me.
what a life-altering experience too, because you really went through moving from your area that you've been all your, Beaverton, to starting a whole new practice in Chicago. That's a huge, and then family and marriage and all that too. And
Wow.
so, yeah, that's
awesome.
big. Congratulations, Kat.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so honored also to be part of Diane Glass's company, Home Service America in Berkshire in Chicago, and they do such great work. So, all right, Ro, how about you?
Well, thank you for asking, and congratulations, Catherine. That's amazing. Congratulations, Renee. You guys are rock stars, which I've said it from the beginning. So, but I wrote mine down just a little bit, so I will read this really quick. But I feel that my biggest professional accomplishment in the past year as purveyor in real estate and as a purveyor in real estate, I've focused my energy and time on diverse representation, advancing equity, while listening, fighting together for inclusion in the Atlanta communities. I want to thank Dan Forsman, our CEO, president of Berkshire Hathaway, Georgia Properties, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties, just for honoring me as our first 2021 Berkshire Hathaway Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Award winner. It's a privilege and honor to be, I'm proud of the role as this brand ambassador and chairperson for our global network, because I feel like we're reaching so many people through our employee resource groups, events, community outreach initiatives. As our mission is to become leaders in promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and represent the communities we serve by making everyone feel valued and appreciated. So that is probably my biggest accomplishment for this year.
Oh, Ro, beautiful. Congratulations to you. And I couldn't agree with you more. Dan Forsman, he's also where I got my start at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties. And I'm so proud of all the work that they do. And especially with the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. They also have a veterans program as well. They've just been always ahead of the curve and very innovative in their thought processes, because we have a thought leader in that company. So,
and I will say, I'm also proud to be a part of your organization and meeting Renee and Catherine. And I would say this is an honor to be a part of Women Who Lead in the military series. What better way to serve? So thank you. Really appreciate that.
Because that's the way I feel too. And believe it or not, we're out of time. We have one more question. Can you see how easy this is? It's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
And again, it's just great information, knowledge, sharing. And, for me, I always like to learn from our participants, their favorite books, their favorite quotes. It inspires me. It takes me through the entire 2 weeks that our next show is always. I always try to find the book that they mention or a quote that they talk about and really study it. So let me start with you, Renee, and then Ro, and then I'll end with Kat. What is, your recommendation for a book, a quote, a movie that resonates with you, and share that with our audience and why?
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of this. And you are a rock star too, Ro. I think this is a great panel. I've loved getting to know Kat and Ro a little bit better. And Theresa, you do such great work. And to Rita and Ricky behind the scenes who make all of the magic work for you. But I will say, as far as a book, I would say it's The Situational Leader. I even find myself pulling that out and referring to it with my daughter, because it is a really good mentality. Even though the first book was written in 1984, I looked that up because I thought this has been around a while, but it's still true today. And it has such really great principles in it that it's one of those. I mean, I have my stack of books, right, that I'm always working through, but that's one that I just keep pulling out because it's full of such nuggets. And as far as a quote, I would say for me personally, it is 1 Peter 3:15 that says in part, always be prepared to give a reason for the joy that is in you. And so maybe that goes with the optimism that my husband says, but that's what I want to share with anybody here, anybody, watching or listening, or anybody that I come into contact with. It's
Renee, who wrote the Situational?
Dr. Paul Hardy.
Dr. Paul Hardy. And there is, the oldest book and the most known book in the world, as you know, is the Bible. So it's never dated if it's good. How about you, Ro?
Oh yeah. So I have a couple of books. I'm like Renee. I call myself an undercover nerd. So I try to be cool, but I'm really a nerd. So
you love books. I know
I
you
love books. But the one that I keep referring back to, the National Association, but Brent Gleason wrote this book he's the Navy SEAL way to an extraordinary life, embrace the suck. And basically it's just about your resiliency, getting through adversity. And I guess it resolves back to what we were just talking about earlier, what my leadership superpower is. And that's, problem solving.
Let me see it. Hold it up. It's called
Embrace the Suck.
Wow, what a name. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And the way that he came up with this book is because it's a Navy, saying that they would have. And so he went out and trained in the state of Colorado, high altitude. He got through it, and it's kind of whatever you're going through, it really comes back down to Colin Powell's, quote, "It ain't as bad as you think, it'll be better in the morning." So that's what he means by embrace the suck. Like, you're going to get through the resilience, the adversity, you're going to overcome, but it's all about how Navy students were taught to do and so forth. So that would be one of my favorite books. My favorite quote is all-time favorite. It's by Andy Warhol, I want to say, who says, "Be yourself, everybody else is taken." So
I like that.
Yeah. And I think that when you are yourself, your authentic self, your passion, your purpose, it's going to come out, and it's going to show, and people are going to know, what you are really, really about, and being your true self. So I think that's relates to me. And my favorite movie, which I just saw again yesterday, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Maybe I'll get a chance to mention it. So thank you. Is one of them, should I say, and it's perfect for this time with Veterans Month, is A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I love that.
I got a chance to see that movie yesterday. So I would recommend A Few Good Men, Be Yourself, Everybody Else is Taken, and Embrace the Suck. And go and read Colin Powell's 13 rules for leadership.
That's great. We'll definitely post all that. And, thanks again, because you can't handle the truth, right?
Right.
So let me see. Kat, how about you?
So I'm not sure who the quote is by. I know that's really bad, but it's just something that I live by because of what happened. So mine would be, never let anyone tell you can't, because you can. And I live by this now. My children live by this. I will make my friends live by this, because I actually had somebody tell me that I could not become a Marine, that women can't make it in the Marine Corps. And I turned around, instead of going to the Navy, I beelined it for the Marine Corps office, and I became a Marine. And ever since then, I've never let anybody tell me that I can't do something. And that's been my motivation.
Oh, Kat, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. What a great way to end our show today. Thank you all so much for all that you do to help our military families, our community, our vets, to increase homeownership opportunities. And for all of those who serve, we want to thank you again out there and let you know it's an honor to have all of you with us. So here's the quote that I really thought about, that I thought was great about each one of you. And it's by General Douglas MacArthur of the Army. So a true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equity of his actions and the integrity of his intent. And I think that is so true, and such a beautiful quote, and a great way to end our show to you today. So thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you all for watching. And let me let you know our next show is also going to be great. It's going to be on December 8th on Wednesday. We're going to be featuring women in technology and cybersecurity. One of the things a lot of people don't think about December is all the shopping that we do online. It's a time for all of us to be thinking and wary. of cybersecurity and our own capabilities of making sure that we stay secure, because people steal our lives every day. And these women are going to be able to tell us a little bit about their work and how you can also safeguard against being a victim. So don't forget to join our Facebook page, our episodes, and like our YouTube channel. And remember one thing, right? Always, right? Always bring other women up the ladder with you when you climb to the top. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks again for joining. See you guys in a month on December 8th. Thanks again. Bye-bye, everybody.